embarrassing, but also not really. So I'm gonna go through my list of things that I've watched. Everything on this list I have finished, except for one show, which is the show that I'm currently watching. So you guys know I have to have a beverage. And in the last video, I told you that I decided I was going to do something different in every one of these Netflix videos. So beer, wine, hard seltzers, literally anything. Maybe I'll make some cocktails for some of these videos. But I was in Trader Joe's today, and I just browsed the beer section, which I never do at Trader Joe's. But it was cool. They had these like little cartons, and you could like make your own 6-pack. So they were selling like individual bottles like this, or cans, I should say. And this one instantly caught my attention because of the color. It says Oktoberfest from the 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪 Brewery. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong, but it's the 𝓤𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓪 style. Here, I will allow you to read it for yourself, because I don't want to make myself look dumber than I probably already did. So let me just read you the description of what this is supposed to taste like. So it says, malty aroma, smooth caramel finish. Break out those hoodies, light up the fire pit, and take a breath of the fresh autumn air. Enjoy the rich malty caramel notes of this traditional 𝓤𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓪. Is it Lager? Lager? I think it's Lager. I don't know. Correct me in the comments. And is that a 6 or an 8? I think it's a 6.2%, which is a little bit more than your typical like Corona or whatever, but not that much more. That is a 6, right? I think it's a 6, yeah. So I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't think I'm gonna like this, but I wanted to try it. It's very fall, which is perfect for the season that we're in right now. I'm sorry I don't have my fall lights behind me, but they'll be back for the next video, don't worry. And I didn't even bring a glass to pour this into because I like the can so much that I just want to drink it out of the can. Alright, so let's see. I don't know. I already washed the rim of the can, so. Alright. Right away, it does smell very sweet. A little of it spilled out. Alright, here we go. Cheers. Oh. Okay. I was expecting it to be like very sweet, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, but yeah, I don't hate it. Okay, I definitely do. Like, I can tell that it's a little stronger than all the like the Bud Lights and the Stellas and all that. Bud Light I think is like 4, Bud Light's like close to water. Anyway. Okay. I'm a fan. Alright, Trader Joe's, I see you. Okay, so let me pull up my list here. So I have a pretty decently long list. Now, I started this list like over 2 months ago, probably right as soon as I finished filming the other one, or the last one, so I hope I can remember everything. Let me take a sip and then we will begin. So the first one is called Unorthodox. Now this one is on Netflix. Most of this, if not everything, is on Netflix this time. This one, my mom came to me one day, and I hadn't like seen her in a while. I think I had been busy. Like, we've just been like 2 ships passing in the night, you know. And she was like, I missed you, let's watch something. And then so this was her recommendation, so we watched it. episodes. There are 4 episodes. I pulled it up here on my Netflix app. See, that's a little trailer there. So there are 4 parts, and they are anywhere from 52 to 55 minutes, so about an hour each. And I will read you the description of the first episode. It says, born and raised in a New York Hasidic community, Esty struggles after a fruitless first year of marriage. She runs away to Berlin and finds new freedom. So, yeah, it follows a young girl who lives in Brooklyn in the Hasidic Jew community, and she gets married, and you can just tell she's very, like, I don't know if rebellious is too strong of a word, but yeah, kind of. Like, she's not happy with her life. She's not happy with the fact that she basically doesn't have control over her life as much as she would like. So she runs away from her new husband and her family to Berlin and makes new friends, and she has a passion for music. So she starts to chase after that a little bit, and then her husband back home ends up finding her somehow. I forget how, and like, or does, I don't even know if he does find her. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I know he tries to find her. And it's very good, actually. It's very good. Again, it's only 4 episodes, but it's really good. I like it. It didn't have any characters or any actors that I knew, but it was different, and I liked it. So if you're in for like a little short watch, then that may be good for you. The next one, okay, so this list has everything from like stuff like that to like true crime stuff to cheesy movies. Like, this list is all over the place, so just kind of keep that in mind and don't judge me. The next one is another Netflix original. I pretty much watch all of the Netflix original movies, no matter the genre, really. I think they're really good. Like, Netflix really pops out some really good shows. So a couple of Netflix videos of mine ago, I said I watched The Kissing Booth, which is a very cheesy, like, teen kind of based show, movie that's set in high school. And so the second one came out at the end of August, maybe, or like early September. So of course I think I watched it like the day they put it on Netflix. And they brought in 1 or 2 new characters from what I remember. It continues very nicely from the first one, where Elle and Noah, I want to say his name is, he goes away to college after they started dating, and then, you know, the movie goes into like the struggles of doing long distance, and then she meets someone else, and then that complicates things, and blah 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 blah. I don't remember it fully, but I remember liking the ending. But I will say that the first Kissing Booth, in my opinion, was better. But I am still glad that they did a second one. So yeah, that's Kissing Booth 2. It has Joey King, and I forgot the guys' names, but Joey King was in that Hulu show about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I think that was her name. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but that's who Joey King is. I've talked about that show as well. If you're in for like a lighthearted watch, then it was a good movie. I wouldn't rush to watch it again, but the first Kissing Booth I watched more than once, so that just kind of goes to show you. The next one was my show for like the past, I'd say like 3 months maybe. I watched the whole series of Dexter. so it follows a man named Dexter who works in a forensic department in a police department. He's a blood spatter analyst, so he goes to crime scenes and takes pictures of the blood and analyzes the splatters, and that kind of tells him the story of how the crime happened, how the person died, etc., etc. But the thing about Dexter is that he does that by day. By night, he is a serial killer himself, and he takes it upon himself to go after other serial killers. So he only kills people who kill other people. And so in his mind, he's like, it's justified because he's saving more lives by taking the one life that could kill others. And it's 8 seasons, so it's pretty lengthy. And he, it shows him keeping it a secret from everyone in his life, his sister, his co-workers. It touches on his early life and what made him the way that he is. And the writing, I mean, first of all, he's an amazing actor. The man who plays Dexter, I don't know his name. I've never seen him in anything else. But he's a very good actor, in my opinion. And the writing of the show is so good that even though Dexter is a serial killer, you almost kind of like fall in love with him, and like you end up almost rooting for him, even though what he's doing is wrong too. I cannot recommend that show enough. If you like my like creepy true crime and all that kind of thing video, then go watch Dexter and tell me what you think about it. It's not a new show. It's actually very old. I was very late to the game, so I'm sure many of you have probably already watched it, but if you haven't, I would recommend it. And then let me know what you think of it. Okay. The next one is a movie. I don't even fully remember the plot, to be very honest with you. It's called Work It, and the only reason I watched it was because I knew a lot of the people in it. Liza Koshy, who got her start here on YouTube, she's in it. Jordan Fisher is in it. He was one of the original actors in Hamilton on Broadway, and then he's been in a couple things. I know him because he was on Dancing with the Stars. He's an amazing singer and a pretty good actor too. He's been in other things, but I don't really know what. Sabrina Carpenter, I believe her name is. I think she was like a Disney Channel kid, pretty little blonde girl. Yeah, I don't fully remember the plot. I know it has something to do with dance crews in a high school, and then there's a competition at the end. It's very like Step Up like, but younger kids version. I don't know. It's not like well, I guess it could kind of be for kids, but I don't know. I watched it because I was just curious, and I follow Jordan Fisher on Instagram, so he was posting about it, so I was like, alright, let me just go check it out. It was okay. Cheesy. Yeah, like one of those movies would be. I wouldn't rush to watch it again. There's one little scene though at the end. It's like the credits, and Jordan Fisher comes out and just starts dancing and like twerking, and he's just fabulous. I love him. I actually posted that clip way back when I first saw the movie on my Instagram story, if any of you remember. I live for him. I do. I think he's amazing. I think he's talented. I think he's funny. He's beautiful. this goat farm, and they're like city people, so she's very out of place. But then by the end of the movie, she's like getting down and dirty with the animals, like that kind of thing. But it's cute. The kids are cute. It's a nice storyline. Josh Duhamel has like skeletons in his closet from his past life, so that gets brought up a little bit into their relationship. But then of course I think it has a happy ending. I don't fully remember again, but it was cute, and me and my like country music, so it had like that country kind of feel to it, so it was alright. The next one is another movie, and it's called The Ottoman Lieutenant. I'm gonna look that one up too, because I watched these a while ago. So it says, as World War I looms, an American nurse travels to the Ottoman Empire on a medical mission where she clashes with a dashing lieutenant. This one is rated R, so it's a little spicier. It has no actors that I had recognized. This was a very random find. Actually, I remember watching this. I was at work and I was on my break, and this is when we were still very socially distanced, so I was the only one there, and I had like the office to myself, and I was like, let me watch a movie. And so that's what I watched. I think I watched like the first hour on my break, and then I guess I finished it later on, like another day. So that right away, like if I don't watch a movie, like the full movie, in one sitting or one day, then that probably means that it wasn't my favorite. This one, I think I sat down to watch it 2 or maybe even 3 different times. So, it was okay. It's from 2017, so it's been around a little bit. But I sometimes like watching those old-fashioned, set in history movies. I don't know, they're like refreshing to me, like something different from like our time that we're in now, which can sometimes be exhausting, in my opinion. So, I like movies like that sometimes. Okay, the next one is yet another movie. It's a lot of movies, wow. The next one is, I liked this one. This one is called Adrift. It's from 2018. It's like an hour and a half long. And it stars Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin. And it's a true story. I'll read you the description. A young couple's sailing adventure becomes a fight to survive when their yacht faces a catastrophic hurricane. In this story, based on true events. So, it follows a young couple who they meet, and like they're instantly, they've got that chemistry and they get a relationship going. And he gets this job to like sail a yacht for this rich family, to take their yacht and sail it somewhere to like meet them. And they were gonna take the plane there. Anyway, that part's irrelevant. But because they're like, newly dating at that point, they go together, and they have weather complications, and they're basically stranded at sea for I forget how long, but it follows their journey being stuck at sea. And it like stories like that fascinate me, like the fact that they're true stories and that someone lived through all that and was like able to tell their story of how they survived and what they went through, which I can't even imagine, like being stranded at sea and like drowning. Just like the ocean in general is one of my worst fears. Like I'll swim when I go to the beach and whatever, because that's like right there, but like being in the middle of the ocean and like something happening, no. So I can't even imagine. But what was I gonna say? Oh, so most of the movie really is just them two on like at sea, and movies like that always always fascinate me because the actors have to be really good and the writing has to be really good for it still to be entertaining and captivating when you're looking at the same two people for an hour. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. I've always thought that. Like, it's usually movies like that, like someone stuck at sea, or like, one that comes to mind, is it called Martian? I don't remember. I think it has Matt Damon, and he's like an astronaut, and it's literally him and another actor in the whole movie, because they're in space, so there's no need to have other characters. Just like things like that. I don't know. I give all the creators and the actors credit. I'm sorry, I can't stop. Like, these little burps are coming because of the beer. Trying to suppress it. But yeah, I really liked that movie. It's very it captivates your attention. Sometimes like I'll watch a movie and I'm like scrolling through my phone while watching. That one I was like pinned to the screen the whole time. So, and I just like Shailene Woodley. She reminds me of Secret Life of American Teenager, which I watched when I was younger. So I always like her. The next one is a show. I watched The Umbrella Academy. Everyone was talking about The Umbrella Academy, and I was like, what is that? And then I would see previews, and I would see Pogo the talking monkey, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I was like, is it a kid's show? Like, I was very confused. I would go on Facebook, and my cousin's like posting about it, and then other people are talking about it on like Facebook and Instagram and whatever. And then I was at work one day, and my coworker asked me if I had seen it, and I was like, no. So during our break where we had like a downtime, I put the first episode on and he watched it with me, and I was like, it sounds like all I do at work is watch Netflix. I promise that's not what happens at all, but in between shows, you know, sometimes there's nothing else to do, so I'll just pop on them. Anyway, so he watched it with me, and I was like, oh, this is good, I like this. So it basically follows it starts out when, you know, they're kids and they have these abilities, and they're all adopted by this one man who knows of their abilities and basically raises them as a family. So they're not biologically related, but they're all a family. And I don't want to give anything away, but it's just like it follows their a little bit of their upbringing, but also just them using their abilities to basically save the world. That happens in the first season and the second season. There's 2 seasons. The second season, I didn't like as much as the first season, just because I like the actors a lot and I like their characters and I like them interacting with each other. And the second season they were kind of separated because of the storyline, so like it made sense. But I don't know, I just think the first season was more captivating for me personally. But both seasons were great. They left it wide open for a third season. I really liked it. So that is The Umbrella Academy. Again, no one really that I recognized, but some of you may recognize it. Klaus, my favorite character. I love him. He's got his own demons, but he has this like sense of humor about him that like deflects from his problems. I don't know. He gave me a couple of chuckles every now and then. And then I forgot their characters' names, all of them. What's the character? The really big one, for those of you who have seen The Umbrella Academy. The really big, muscular one. I don't remember. But he's nice to look at, so that's just a plus. Okay. The next one is another show. This is a Netflix original. I think, I want to say there were 8 or 10 episodes, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. It's called Away. And I'm gonna look up because I always forget this woman's name. And I know her, and you guys know her too. Hilary Swank. I don't know why I can never ever remember that name. So basically just, sustain life on Mars. And so she goes on a 3-year mission. I'm pretty sure it's 3 years. And, she's got to do it. She's got to leave her family, who her husband is also an astronaut, but I forgot why he didn't go. Oh, the preview's playing. I don't know if you heard that. My phone just started playing the preview to that show. But anyway, it follows her and her team on her mission, and she has to leave for 3 years, and once they're up in the air, like, that's it. You can't take it back. And so, her family back home, they have a daughter who's in high school. I think she's a freshman in high school. And, the family has complications, and she can't do anything because she's in space. She can't come home. And it follows, like, that kind of storyline. And then just things that go wrong with, like, the spaceship that they have to fix while they're flying through space. And so I loved it. I thought it was one of the best shows that I've watched in a while. And what I think I liked was the production value. It was literally like you were watching a movie. It was literally like a movie. So well done. The graphics, everything, just them floating through the spaceship, and the acting was great. It's a crew of, like, I want to say like 6 people, so you get to know them really well, and you, like, develop certain soft spots for certain characters, or at least I did. It's a short series. It's only 1 season, sadly. I could see them doing a 2nd season if they really wanted to. They definitely could continue from where they left off. But the whole time, you're wondering, are they going to get to Mars in the first place? If they get there, are they going to stay there? Or are they going to have to go back home? There's a lot of uncertainty throughout the whole thing. It's very good. It's very good. I would thoroughly recommend that one. The next one I would not thoroughly recommend to everybody, and a lot of you are probably going to laugh at me for watching this. I'm laughing at myself. This one was surely meant for, like, young teenagers, not for a 24-year-old woman, but here we are. It's called Julie and the Fandoms. The reason I watched it was because it kept popping up as soon as I opened Netflix. It would be right there, like, new on Netflix. And I was just like, okay. And then I was on TikTok one day, and I kept seeing, like, these little clips pop up from the show. And I would read through the comments, because I like reading through comments, and people kept saying, like, I don't know what people are saying, like, the show's amazing, the show's good, like, I don't care. And they were, like, older people, and I was like, alright, let me give it a try. It was cute. I'm not gonna lie, it was cute. Would I watch it again? No. But it was cute. It made me smile. It follows this little girl, she's like, what, 15, 16 maybe, in high school, and she has lost her mom, and her mom was like her tie to music. Julie's like a singer, she plays piano, and her mother bonded over that, and since her mom had passed away, she hadn't allowed herself to sing. And this band of, there's 3 of, well, the band is 4, but 3 of them, way back, like decades prior to Julie's time, they end up losing their lives. I think they get, like, they eat something bad or something, I don't fully remember, but they lose their lives, and they become ghosts, and they appear to Julie, and Julie is the only person that can see them, because she has a tie to them that gets revealed at the end of the show, so I won't spoil it for you. Not that many of you are going to watch it, but anyway. So she can see them, and they eventually become friends, and they end up playing together, because they're a band, and she sings, spoiling anything? Yeah, that's all I'll leave it as. But it's cute. It's very lighthearted. It's a feel good kind of show. It's also short. It's one season. 8. I want to say it's usually either 8 or 10 episodes if it's from Netflix. So one of the two. I think it's 10. I think it's 10 actually. Now that I think about it. The kids are cute. I like looked them all up. I think the girl who plays Julie's young. I think she's like 17 or 18 or something. Oh no, I think 17. And then the guys in the band are like 21 or so. So they're all younger than me, but it was cute. Alright, the next one is a movie. This one was actually, it was twisted, but it was good. So this one is called The Devil All the Time. I originally wasn't gonna watch it because, one, it sounds like a horror movie, and I don't do horror movies. Girl doesn't do horror movies. So I didn't even watch the trailer. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that so many well-known actors were in it. There's Robert Pattinson's in it. Let me just read you. I'm gonna read you the whole cast list because it's gonna be so many people that you know. Cast. So we have Tom Holland, Spider-Man dude, Robert Pattinson, Bill Skarsgård, who is Pennywise, Sebastian Stan, I don't really know who that is. I'm just gonna read the well-known ones. Jason Clarke is in it. Tim Blake Nelson. Mia, oh god, I can't say that last name. Mia Wasikowska. That was wrong, but something like that. Anyway, so it's long. It's like it says 2 hours and 18 minutes. It's pretty long. It goes by fast though. It's not one of those movies that you're like, oh my god, this movie's still going. It's good. I will read you a little synopsis. So the synopsis on Netflix is: sinister characters converge around a young man devoted to protecting those he loves in a post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality. This is one of those shows that I could easily see one of my college professors making us watch back in the day if this movie was around, and like doing a whole analysis on it. There's so many things happening in this movie. Religion is a big part of it, and how these people who are, how do I say this? Like, people in the town, like, know that person, like, they're religious, they're a good person, like, they don't do anything wrong, they go to church, whatever. This movie kind of, like, exposes that, you know what, not everyone is as they seem, and sometimes the people who put their best foot forward and they seem perfect are actually some of the worst people. And so Robert Pattinson, for example, plays a preacher, and he's actually not a nice man at all. Like, when he's not preaching, he's a creep, he's rude, he's, that's just an example of one of the characters. And so Tom Holland's character, you see, like, the movie bounces back from time period to time period, so you also see Tom Holland's childhood and how he was brought up and what his first couple of impressions of religion was from a very young age, and how his father, the Skarsgård Pennywise dude, he plays his father. And it's dark. It's a dark movie. But it was very well done. I believe it's a Netflix original, but don't quote me. It is a Netflix original. Yes, it is. So I guess it's definitely not horror. It's more like, I wouldn't even say it's a thriller. Well, yeah, maybe a little bit. There are certain parts. There were a couple of parts that were hard for me to watch that I had to look away a So if you're having a night in, either by yourself or with others, and you're looking for a movie to watch, I would recommend it. I would, but just keep in mind that it's not like a lighthearted, like it's a movie that's dark and it's gonna make you think, which isn't a bad thing. And it has a lot of amazing actors in it. Like Robert Pattinson has come a long way from his Twilight days. But we all know, although I love those Twilight movies just because of what they are, the acting was horrible. Horrible. He's come a long way. He was very good. He's in real life he has like a British accent, and in this movie he plays a white southern preacher, and he has that like accent. Like he completely transforms his voice. Tom Holland too. Tom Holland has an accent, and in this movie he has like that southern drawl, that slower, deeper kind of voice. They all did really well. I could see them like winning awards for that if they haven't already. I haven't really watched any award shows this year, so I might have missed that, but yeah, they all did a very good job with that movie. Okay, the next one is another movie. This one I watched on my day off, because I finally found a day, I think it was last week, where I like didn't have to do anything. I just had the day to just like chill for a few hours. I had a few hours to myself, and I watched this movie. And my coworker wrote about it on Facebook too, so that's how I like heard of it. And I was like, oh yeah, let me watch it. It's called Enola Holmes, and it stars Millie Bobby Brown. Oh man, what's his name? Superman. He played Superman once. Alright, hold on. As soon as I read it, I'm gonna be like, duh. Henry Cavill. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. And Sam Claflin again, who was in the Adrift movie. And might as well just read you the plot while I have it up. It says, while searching for her missing brother, intrepid teen Enola Holmes uses her sleuthing skills to outsmart Big Brother Sherlock and help a runaway lord. Enola Holmes, the Holmes is Sherlock Holmes. She is Sherlock Holmes' little sister. Excuse me. And it's obviously it takes place back in those later times, so girls are seen, or should be seen, as like ladies who are proper, and they don't have to be educated, they just have to look pretty and like learn how to embroider and stuff like that. And she's very much like, no, I don't want to do that. So she's very rebellious, very smart. Her mother, who is played by, I also know her name, but not off the top of my head. Oh, is it not even here? Is it Helena Carter? I don't know. Anyway, so her mother like goes missing, like disappears on purpose. She like leaves, but the kids don't know that yet. And so her two older brothers, one of them being Sherlock Holmes, returns home, and she hadn't seen them in years. And they're basically meant to like take care of her now and like turn her into a lady, and she doesn't want that. So she runs away from home and tries to like figure out why her mom left and yada yada yada. It's very good. How long is it? It's 2 hours, so it's decently long. She has grown up to be such a beautiful girl. I don't know how old Millie is now. I first saw her, I'm sure many of us have, was from the first time Stranger Things. When she like shaved her head and she was this little girl. She's beautiful now and she's such a good actress. I think she was perfect for the role. I would recommend it. It's a cute movie. And any excuse to look at Henry Cavill, I mean, if we're being honest here. Okay, the next one is a show. I think it's a Netflix original show. My coworker recommended it to me. It's called Emily in Paris. starring, what's her name? Lily Collins, I believe. There it is. Yep, Lily Collins. And so basically she is an American girl who works in marketing, and she is sent to Paris to work for this company. That's like a branch off of her main company that she worked for back home. And they send her to Paris. She doesn't speak French. She's, not very well received at first by her coworkers and her peers. And so she basically has to find her way. She meets friends along the way. She makes 2 really good girlfriends. There's a hot neighbor in her building, of course, because it wouldn't be a show without that. So there's like a little romantic thing there. And it reminds me a little bit of The Devil Wears Prada, where her boss is not a big fan of her, very mean, and she basically has to like prove herself. It's kind of like that, but set in Paris, so that's really cool. And you get to hear, some French being spoken, which is always cool for me. I like listening to other languages and stuff. So it's very cute, it's very girly. It's a little cliche, some of it, at least I remember more towards the beginning of the season. It's only 1 season. The beginning of the show, I was like, oh, this is cheesy. Oh, that was predictable. But I think it does get better as the show goes on. She's very pretty. She's a very cute girl. The fashion in the show is great. They dress her very, very well. They definitely left it open for a 2nd season, and I would watch it. I would actually be very excited to see another season. So yeah, that was Emily in Paris. If it does get picked up for another season, I don't think it would be for a while. I think that one was just released, and I looked it up, like if they would release another season, and it said they hadn't been picked up yet. They were waiting to see what the how it was received the first time around. So hopefully, I would really like a 2nd season, which would probably come in like a year. But okay, the next 2. My leg is asleep. The next one, I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't really need to. But I wrote it down mostly for you guys. So if you guys watch my true crime videos, you may know that I have a video on Chris Watts, who was a man who, I'm not even gonna tell you. But Netflix just put a documentary up called American Murder, The Family Next Door, and it is all revolved around Chris Watts. From what I watched, it is basically pretty much the same footage that I did my research on when I was preparing for that video, so I didn't have to watch the whole thing because I knew what I was watching. I had seen it already. But I've been getting so many comments and Instagram DMs about like, hey Sam, I just wanted to let you know that they have this documentary up. I don't know if you've seen it, but he did this video on Chris and blah blah. So yes, I have seen it. I know that it's there. From what I've seen, it's very well made. So I thought you guys may like that. So I wrote that down just to point that out to you guys. The next one, there are 2 seasons up. I finished the first season a while ago, maybe like the end of last winter, I want to say. It's called Trinkets. I don't even fully know what it's about. I tried to watch the 2nd season because it came out not that long ago. I can't get into it. It's all I remember is it's about a young girl who is finding herself and like exploring her sexuality, and she also, there's a name for it but I don't remember, but she's like addicted to shoplifting, and so she has to go to like a support group for that, and then she made friends there. I don't fully remember. She's like high school age, age, so it's set in that time area. I just wrote it down because I figured maybe some of you may be watching it. Again, it's called Trinkets. Does the second season get better? I don't know. I watched the first episode of the second season and then half of the second episode, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, but I did watch it, so I wrote it down on the list. And then I will finish with what I am currently watching, and I literally have seen this show like pop up so many times, and I just, for some reason, I just never got into it, or I never gave it a try. But it's called Rain, and it is set, I want to read you the plot for the first episode of the first season. So it says, teenage Mary Stuart travels to France to meet her fiance, Prince Francis, or Francis, as they say in the show, although his mother, Queen Catherine, wants to prevent their marriage. So Mary is Queen of Scotland, and from a very young age, she was destined to marry Francis, who was the prince, future king of France. It's very, I think there were, how many seasons are there? There are 4 seasons. I just finished the first season. I watched half of the first episode of the second season, so I barely started the second season. It's got some Game of Thrones vibes, but not as bloody, not as graphic. It stars, in case you may know them, Adelaide Kane, Megan Follows, Torrance Coombs, and yeah, I don't recognize any of the other names, but it's good. It's there are love triangles, there's a corrupt king, there are, mistresses and arranged marriage and a lot of scandals and wars and alliances. So it's good. I wouldn't say I am like hooked. Like with Dexter, I was watching Dexter before bed. I was watching Dexter when I was working out, when I was on the treadmill. Like, even, and the same thing with Emily in Paris. Like, I watched that pretty, like, straight through because I just wanted to keep watching it. This one, like, I don't think I've watched any of it in, like, a week and a half. And I don't know what it is. Like, it's not boring. It just, I don't know. It hasn't completely hooked me. Sorry, I'm getting to the end, so I have to, like, really... But I mean, I plan on finishing it. I may watch an episode actually now before I go to bed. We'll see. But that is Rain. I don't know if any of you have seen it. I think I've seen a couple comments saying that I would like that show. If any of you have seen it, let me know if it gets better. Because some shows just have like a slow start, and they need to build momentum to really get going. So I have hopes that it'll get better. I also have nothing else to watch right now, so I'm gonna keep watching it. But anyway, that's the end of my list. I think I have maybe like 1 or 2 sips left. I will say, I don't know if it's that it's like maybe like a bigger can or what, but I can definitely feel that it's stronger. I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. I think that's about it. A funny story, it's midnight right now. It's 11:58 p.m. and normally I would be asleep by now. Because you guys know, like, originally today I thought I was gonna have to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I was planning on waking up at 2 in 2 hours. But actually working 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. tomorrow. I haven't worked a night shift in, I don't even know, since January or December. So I'm a little nervous because I kind of forgot how to do it because night shift is different. So yeah, I don't have to be at work until 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I was like, let me take advantage and film this video now because I'm going away next week. So it works out perfectly. But yeah, that's why I'm still awake right now. That's why it's dark in my room, because it's nighttime. Normally I film during the day, but anyway, it is indeed time for bed. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime suggestions for me, leave them down below, because after rain I'm gonna need some recommendations.